Good morning, students. In my previous video, I talked about present tense and all the four subcategories of that. Today, I'm going to talk about past tense, and I'll start with simple past tense. So, let's understand where to use simple past tense and which form of verb is used for that. So, you use simple past tense when you want to tell about a work that is finished in the past and there is a complete indication of the time, like yesterday, last, ago, 1947. 1947 is just an example, there can be any year, yesternight, etc. There can be other words also which will tell you about the time in past. So come to the examples now. I went to park yesterday. Yesterday tells you about past time, and the work which is done, that is like about going to the park. So go is first form. So here we have used second form of verb. So whenever you are using simple past tense, you will use second form of verb. In next sentence, she did the work last night. Last night tells you about the past time, and the second form of verb is used to make the sentence in simple past tense. In the above two sentences, the work has ended in the past and there is a reference of time with completion. Now, let's talk about its structure. So, when you want to frame affirmative sentence, you will use subject in the beginning, then second form of verb, and after that, object. If you want to frame a sentence which is negative in simple past tense, then you won't use any form of verb uh, directly. You will use did in the beginning, like after the subject. After that, not, and then first form of verb. Now, why first form of verb is used here? You have to use did in the negative sentence, and did is already second form. First form is do, so second form is did. So as we have already used did, so after that there is no need to use second form of verb. So did is followed by first form of verb. In simple present tense, you were using first form of verb. In simple past tense, you are using second form of verb. And for negative sentence in simple present tense, we use do or does. And second form of do is did. So here in simple past tense, we'll use did to frame a sentence with simple past tense. In the same way in interrogative, as in simple present tense, do and does come in the beginning. So in this sentence, did will come in the beginning, then it will be followed by subject. After that, you will use first form of verb, then object, and will end up with question mark. Now I'll tell you where to use simple past tense. Simple past tense is used to express habitual or regular action in past. Suppose some work, some action was done regularly in the past. That will be denoted or that will be expressed through second form of verb. As you can see in the example, Gandhiji always spoke truth. You are talking about past, simple past tense, and you are talking about a habit of Gandhiji. Now, second point, to show an action that took place in the past. India won the match yesterday. Yesterday is telling you that you're talking about past. She took her first music class last day. So let's talk about past continuous now. Now, where will you use past continuous? If the work was continued in the past, then it is past continuous tense. For example, Mayuri was dancing in party. I hope you remember that when we use present continuous tense, we use is or am or are with first form of verb and ing. Ing is always used whenever you want to tell something in continuation. So for present tense, if you are using is am are, then obviously for past you will convert it into was or were. Mayuri was dancing in party. And second example is the leaders were quarreling in the parliament. So in the above two sentences, the action of dancing and quarreling were going on in the past. So in past, some action was in continuation. Let's come to its structure. Subject, then was were, first form of verb, and then ing, after that object. For negative, you just have to insert not. Subject, was were, not, first form of verb, ing, and then object. Now, if you want to frame interrogative sentence, then was were means helping verb comes in the beginning. After that, subject, then first form of verb, ing, then object, and it ends up with question mark. So it's important to know when to use was. I, he, she, it, or singular noun will be followed by was. Were is used with we, you, they, or plural noun. So uses of past continuous tense. When do you use past continuous tense? To show an action that continued in past. For example, they were ringing the phone continuously. She was taking things from her brother. Both the actions were in continuation in past. So now let's talk about past perfect tense. This is very important tense and you need to understand it very carefully. Actions which were finished in past before the start of any other work in the past. So when do you use past perfect tense? You use past perfect tense when there were two actions in the past, one ended before the other one. So two actions in the past, first action which finishes first, with that you will use had plus third form, that means past perfect, right? So at particular time, if some work was already finished, then you will use past perfect tense. As you can see in the example, Seema had left for Jaipur before 7 a.m. So 7 a.m. is time in the past, and before that time something was done, something was finished, and that's why we have used had left. Madhu had developed the method before I could. Before I could means when I could develop something. Before that, one work was already finished, so that is developed the method, and that had been developed by Madhu. So we are using third form of verb, that is developed, and before that we are using had. Let's talk about its structure. Affirmative sentence, subject, had plus third form, and object. I hope you remember that in present perfect tense we were using has or have, and after that third form of verb. But in past perfect, has have will be changed into had. So subject plus had plus third form of verb plus object. For negative, you have to insert not, subject, had, not, and then third form of verb, and after that object. For interrogative, had will come in the beginning, had plus subject plus third form of verb, then object, after that question mark. Now let's talk about uses of past perfect tense. Now listen to it very carefully. When two actions in past took place one after another. When there were two actions in the past, one happened after another. Then, this is very important point. First action is said in past perfect. Just look at the highlighted part. First action is said in past perfect, and the second action in simple past. So whenever there are two actions in the past and one is finished before the other, then first action will be told with the help of had plus third form, and second will be told with the help of simple past tense. As you can see in the example, I reached the place after he had left. Now you can see, just look at this sentence very carefully. I reached the place after he had left. how many actions you can see there? One is reach and other action is left, right? Left means this is a third form, first form is leave. So there are two verbs in this sentence, reach and left. Now, these were two actions in the past. What happened first and what happened second? I reached the place after he had left. So I reached, this work took place at the second time, and when did he leave? He left before I reached. So first verb is means first work which is done is that is left, and second work is reach. So that's why reach second form of verb, left had plus third form of. I will again repeat the use of past perfect. When two action in past took place one after another, then first action is said in past perfect, means which completed in the which completed first, and which completed second, that is this second action is in past tense. First action which is finished will be said with the help of past perfect, second action with the help of simple past tense. I hope you understood it clearly. Now let's talk about past perfect continuous tense. If an action started in past, continued in past, and then gets done in the past, then it is the past perfect continuous tense. What do we use when you are using present perfect continuous? Obviously, when the work started in past and going on in present, then you use present perfect continuous. When do you use past perfect continuous? When a work started in past and at some time it was still going on. I'll try to explain with the example. As you can see in the example, Seema had been collecting seeds of flowers for the whole day when I went to her. So here it's really important that you are told about the time when that particular action was going on. So here we want to tell this part which is kept in the oval shaped circle. Then you can say in this whatever is circled, it is written to tell you that this is the time denotion, time when that particular action was going on. And it is also told that it started in past. As you can see in the example, Seema had been collecting seeds of flowers for the whole day. Again, as you were using in present perfect continuous, it tells you that how much time has been passed while doing that work. Seema had been collecting seeds of flowers for the whole day, means he has been doing this work for whole day. When I went to her. So when I went to her, Seema had been collecting seeds of flowers for the whole day. In second sentence, he had been playing for India for how long? For many years before my father met. And when it happened? Before my father had met. Before my father could meet him, he had been playing for many years. As you can see in the structure, affirmative, subject plus had been plus first form of verb plus ing, object, since and for. Again, we were using since or for in present perfect continuous. And then time denotion, that's really important. Subject, then had with not when you are making a negative sentence, along with first form of verb, then ing, then object, after that since or for, then after that time denotion. Interrogative, had plus subject, then been, then first form of verb, then ing, after that object, then since or for, and after that time denotion, and in the end you will put question mark. So I want to repeat two tenses again. One is one is past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous tense is used to tell about some action which was continuing in the past at some time, and it started before that time. As you can see in the examples, you will revise it again, then you will understand. And past perfect is used when there were two actions. One happened first, second finished at the second time. And for first, you will be using, for the first action, you will use past perfect. And for second action, you will use simple past tense. Hope you understood it, but I'll suggest that you go through it again to have a better understanding. And next time, in my next video, I'll be talking about future tense. Thank you.